Hello all, nice to be back. So we're going to come with another channeled message today. This is on the Earth cycle. Now there's going to be a lot more messages coming through about the impact of the Earth and what it's going through and how it's affecting us on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual or soul level. So as the frequencies starting to adapt and the changes starting to move through consciousness as we're talking about now, and I've mentioned July in the last few videos, so in July the people that have been working on themselves, you're going to start to feel a bit more calm. So through the chaos, through the emotional upheaval, everything that's been going on energetically is going to start to sort of take a breath out. So it's like that sigh of relief. Now of course, you know, as a generalization, there's going to be, you know, the personal effect on the micro level of each human being and their soul contract. But that's a general rule of thumb. Now we're going to be, again, another 12-18 months of chaos going through this shift before the light returns. Hi Ray, nice to see you again. And then there's going to be a lot of what we call sort of frequency destabilization, in the sense that, you know, as the consciousness starts to move through the, you know, the DNA, it's going to activate the codes that have been lying dormant for thousands, some millions of years. You know, of course, whenever there's a great shift in humanity, light comes onto the planet, obviously, and will activate these dormant codes or fire markers as it's been channeled through. And obviously what we call ley lines as well, starting to activate. So what it's doing is it's sort of a etheric imprint that will energize the earth so it can start to shift its polarity. As we know, we travel, what, a couple of 100,000 kilometers a year. The earth moves. You know, we're going up into a different quadrant of the galaxy now, where sort of lighter vibrational planets exist. So everything again is shifting. The main thing is to obviously just, and we always come back to the personal level of emotional resonance. Emotional fatigue is now coming to the surface, and the message, I won't go too much, I'll talk off the message too much, because the message is perfect, it says what it needs to say. But at the end of the day, we cannot have full soul realization whilst in a physical body until the emotional body is clear. And again, this is where the New Age movement is going to start to spiral out of control in the next 12 months as well. And you'll start to see that a lot more on social media, a lot of things not sort of making sense. Or a lot of people trying to repeat the old ways of doing things, and that's not gonna bode well for the new frequencies of consciousness. So it's going to be very interesting to see, and this is obviously a very unique time to be in now. This is, you know, coming up, the next 18 months is a great time to work on yourselves, to clear the energy, so when we do take off, and I was talking to Jennifer Starlight the other day, and she channeled a message, and basically the Union of Light had said to her that the Aquarian age is going to actually kick off at the beginning of 2023. So that covers the 18 months that I've been channeling. It makes sense, everything's coming to alignment. So that chaos, of course, will still go through. You know, the shadow self is coming up on a micro macro level. And of course, that's why we're starting to see a lot of things fall away in the physical 3D realm. So again, you know, and a lot of spiritual teachers, and there's been books written on, you know, since the 70s, 60s, 70s, and even before, about this time. But now it's really starting to kick off. You're really starting to kick off. And I think a lot of people have been saying, you know, it's going to be this profound shift. But it is, but it's happening very subtly, and it's been happening for a while. So we're not going to get to see these amazing explosions of transformation. But it's going to happen more on an unconscious level, because humanity is still in too much fear. They're too locked in the illusion. And to break that illusion overnight, which some people have prophesized, will just cause too much emotional upheaval, because, you know, it's going to debunk religion, it's going to debunk the science program, it's going to debunk technology, you know, this progressive technology, which is a lie as well. So there's going to be so many things that it will unhinder, you know, the financial system, of course, the corporate model, you know, the abuse of obviously Mother Earth and all the rest of it. So anyway, so look, getting off topic a little bit, but the main thing is that the frequency of consciousness is now asking you to come back into collective consciousness. Now, when we talk about collective consciousness, it means coming back to the soul body. Now, when you're connected to your soul body, you're connected to the multidimensional aspects of yourself. Okay, so that's really important now, really important, and it's very easy to get caught up in going back into the illusion of 3D. Now all the shops are opening and everything's going on. I think what's going to happen is going to be about 6 months, and then people are going to come back to the beginning of lockdown, and where they had a realization to slow down. Actually, no, that doesn't work for me anymore. So everyone's going to rush out the doors again, and then they're going to go, oh, actually, no, that doesn't work. And then that will give next year the time for all that to integrate. So just be conscious. And of course, like I said before in that video, not playing into people's stories. Don't get involved in other people's stories. Stay out of their story as much as possible, because everyone is erupting unconsciously, and it's easy to get pulled in. And obviously when we get pulled in someone else's story, we can come out of our own healing and our own process. And I'm seeing that a lot more, especially through multi-platforms, and even in my personal life as well. Okay, so I'm going to read this message. So this again has come from the Viridians. I channeled through last night. So again, very apt for time. So there will be many changes occurring on your planet, and the alignment of the Earth Mother with Father Sun will be the most profound experience as we all enter the Golden Age. The emotional charge of the planet's consciousness is already in manifestation, and the elemental kingdom is working tirelessly to assist the release. And much of this release is occurring on the etheric realm and can be felt through your feelings, not so much a physical reaction. Although Iceland is releasing Earth's anxiety, you are or will be feeling this through the fault lines. So we've had a few, there's been a few earthquakes and things going on. So New York and Tokyo, the islands of the Maldives and Madagascar will also see high winds moving through, and the southern hemisphere, especially the New Zealand area. So the creative force is trying to push through the logic, and what you are finding within human beings is a need for more creative outlets, because the logical mind cannot hang on to the illusion of 3D much longer. It needs and craves the feminine creativity to scoop it up and encapsulate it so it can rest and recover. That is why so many of you are exhausted at this time. This exhaustion has been carried for a millennium, and it cannot survive in this state any longer. As polarity starts to find balance within the Earth Mother, you will experience tidal changes. But on a personal level, it will affect the throat chakra, where resistance to the feminine force resides. You may feel bouts of anger, frustration and rage, because in truth this is what the ego has created through its endless misunderstanding of its role and its place. So a feeling of frustration, feeling out of sorts and fatigue will proceed this year in those awakening, and for those that resist you will see more doubt, fear and despair. But that's their choice, and that is okay, because not all souls will initiate human amalgamation in this earth life cycle. Go with the flow and make changes as much as you can in any area of your life. The old energy needs dispersing, but you must have conscious will to make that change, to embrace the cycle your soul is trying to impart. You will awake in the coming years to a new earth, one that supports and nourishes the awakened soul, because you will come to feel the invisible world, and the consciousness of the Mother Earth will be conscious within your human aura. And you will first communicate through your auric fields as the psychic centers open to the unseen. Do not be scared by the government's fear tactics and control mechanisms. They will soon be exposed as the light returns, and the power of the human consciousness will once again reign supreme as you elevate and shine light onto the shadow self. It's all around the corner, dear ones. So yeah, I think you know, when you talk to spirit, they're looking in, and there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of buzz in our galaxy because Earth is about to ignite itself, and this is a glorious planet. And I think Spirit said many times, there's no other planet like Earth, and you know, you can actually tune into that and feel that our experience here is very unique. So you know, a lot of people want to come to Earth. There's a lot of people trying to get off the planet. As Armin said, he said what happens is people spend, you know, they want to get off the planet, they want to get out of the exhaustion, you know, the control here, they want to get all the fear and having to deal with the, you know, the sort of intense routine of human lifetime. But as soon as they leave, they can't wait to get back onto the planet because they see nature. And the nature on this planet is obviously something very glorious. And so this coming back into nature is going to be very much a part of this new process. And the message we had last week about the bees returning, as soon as you start to see bees returning into your garden, that means you're coming more into balance as well. And they will start to shift. And as you see more of them and more talk about them, then you see they're a good guide basically for balance on the planet. Because obviously about a couple of years ago, you know, there was a lot of bees disappearing. That's when we were when the negative energy was really trying to hold on, making its last stand. But now that's starting to fizzle out, again, very unconscious. So yeah, lots of good times to come. So we'll keep these updates going every 10 days, and then we'll see what comes up next week. All right, guys, all the best. Take care. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.